Good morning, everybody. It's the Saints man, the small van driver on the CX. This is my week in the life of week commencing Monday the 4th. I normally do a video on the Wednesday to cover Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, and then I'll do another little video on the Thursday, Friday. But I knew I wasn't working on Friday. I'd already got a dentist and a couple of other jobs of my own to sort out. So I decided just to do one. So we're still going to try and keep it shortish as best we can. I'd already got a job booked in for Monday. I picked it up actually Friday night. I picked up from a regular, like I say, I've got one regular shipper that's using me quite a lot recently. In fact, 2 or 3 times a week and giving me good work. So he doesn't go through the CX, so I'm really happy. He's happy. He's getting a good price and I'm happy with the price I'm getting. So it works well. And he's getting a good job and hopefully, you know, he's happy with what I'm doing. So I'd got the load on. It was 2 drops, one in Colchester and then one in SE7, which is Cholton. It was around Cholton. It was Cholton actually, Thamesmead, Cholton, just the other side of the tunnel. What's the tunnel in London? The one they blocked up. I can't remember. Anyway, so we did the Colchester. We've got to Colchester, no problem. Colchester to SE7, Blackwall Tunnel. Blackwall Tunnel is what I'm thinking of. Was a real pain because the protesters were at Blackwall Tunnel and it was causing carnage. So we tried to go round it. I thought I ain't going to get stuck in that. So I decided to go over Dartford Bridge and go in on the A2, I believe, whatever the South Road is. But Dartford Tunnel, there's a crash in the Dartford Tunnel. It shouldn't affect the other side, but it does because people watch. So it took me quite a long while. I was hoping to get the job done by about 10:30, the whole lot, leaving early. I thought I'd be ready, and it wasn't. It was gone. That it was about 11:30, 12. But I did get it done, and I got 136 for the job, which is okay. London, I normally charge a bit more in London, but for this shipper, because I get a fair bit of work, I kept it at the same price. Yeah, it took me longer. It took me about 5 hours for that, for 136, which it's not too bad. 23 quid an hour. But now I'm stuck in London, SE7, so I'm looking to get out of London. So I decided the Blackwall Tunnel are clear by then. I do you see it on YouTube, on Facebook. They chucked these protesters. People just got out of their cars and chucked them on the side of the road. I know what they're protesting and it's fine, but it's just annoying for a courier driver that's trying to earn some money. So I did get a second job. I didn't want to stay in London. I wanted to get out of London somewhere, and there was a job popped up from. I'd gone through Blackwall Tunnel. I was going to perch north because I wanted to go north, and I thought, well, let's get through the tunnel, and it was fine. I think everyone had diverted. Got through the tunnel, and I parked up just outside Woodford in a garage. I used this garage for fuel, and they've got fuel, so I've got some anyway, BP. And a job popped up from South Woodford to Haverhill, which is Cambridge, near Cambridge, south of Cambridge. And I've done 136, so I was looking for sort of 64, 65 quid to get me to 200, my target. And I quoted 66, which took me 2 quid over target. And with the going over Dartford Bridge, which was 3 quid, well, it's 280, whatever it is for me, 260 because I've got an account. Yeah, and I got the job for 63. We negotiated. He wanted 60, I wanted 66. I did it for 63, and it got me to 197 really, with the losing the 2 quid, 196.40 for the day, and that was to Haverhill. And I needed to get home that night. I'd got something on later on at night, so I needed to get home, and I was home. I got home at 3:30 because we went to visit my auntie in hospital, who's in hospital. You have to book appointments now to go and see anyone in a hospital in Northampton. 45-minute maximum, and my auntie's really poorly in hospital. And we've been sort of caring for her at home, but now she's in hospital. Well, as we speak, she's out of hospital, but on Monday she was in hospital. So I was home by 3:30, done. So I did 315 miles for £196.40. So not too bad. It worked out about 62p, and I did 9-hour day. So yeah, it was about right. weren't too bad. Nice easy day. The Haverhill one was just one box to a residential address, which was easy enough. Tuesday, it's funny, I hadn't got a job booked in. I I went to bed. We went to bed really early. We was in bed about 9:30 with a cup of tea. Just nothing on telly, and it's just rubbish. The dog had already bloody gone to bed anyway. So I went to bed, and I woke up at 4 o'clock. I didn't have a good night's sleep. I don't know why, thinking about my auntie. Woke up about 4 o'clock, 4:15, and I had my phone on silent at night. I don't have it on, although my auntie, when she was in hospital, I know they're not going to ring during the night. I normally have it on in case she phones us. But I looked at the feed for some reason. I was awake. I looked at the feed, and there was a job on there, CX job, from Wellingborough, which is 8 miles from where I am, to central London. And it was central London, in the ULEZ, but it's only 62 miles from me, that is. And you had 8 miles, it's about 70 mile all in. And they were quite willing to pay 135 quid. Pays 135 quid. So, one, it's great, the money's great, but you know there's an issue. There's going to be some sort of issue with it. Obviously, the 15 quid congestion, you take that off, makes it 120. I'm guaranteed I'm going to do another 10 mile because I want to get out of London probably, or get a job out of London. So I'm looking at 90 mile for 120 quid. So it's still good money. And I've done central London. Yeah, I don't particularly like doing it. And it's 6 o'clock pickup, it said. It must be picked up at 6. And I thought, I looked at it and it looked like it was right in the centre, as in Oxford Street, just off there. I thought, well, that's obviously shop. And you have to get in and out really. I thought, if I can pick it up at 6, I can be in London and done. 8 o'clock, 8:15. Everything goes well. So it weren't even a quote. It weren't even you phoned. And it was still there. And I thought, well, sod it, I'm awake. I might as well go for it. I'll leave the house about 5:25. I've got an hour and a bit. I can get up, chill out. So I phoned up, and yeah, of course I got it. And it was to a shop in Great Portland Street. And it was literally right on Oxford Street, Regent Street, round there. Great Portland Street. So it was a distribution centre in Wellingborough. Not my favourite places, distribution centres. It was for a big shop. It was, like shopping, big shopping outlets. And it's their main distribution centre to their shops. And it was 5 bags of brand new clothes for a designer in this posh shop in London. I won't mention the shop, obvious reasons, but I get to the gatehouse at 10 to 6, 2 night security guys, and I'm not going to be beat about the bush. They were fucking useless. They just don't, I don't know, they don't understand what it's about. I said, I'm come to collect. He didn't understand English very well. I'm trying to be careful there. Didn't understand English very well. And he put me through. He said, there's no one starts till 6. I said, that's fine. I says, I'm just signing in. I know what I had to fill in, the books. And he says, oh yeah, you need to fill that in. Yeah, and I parked, and I says, can you, 6 o'clock they start. He said, can you come back at 6:30? I said, no, because it's a hot shot load and it's picking up at 6 o'clock. It says on my booking. I said, it's a 6 o'clock pickup, it's going to London, so obviously it needs to be getting in there. Oh, right. And he just sat there. I says, do I walk through? No. And he just sat there. And the other one said, I'll go and do my rounds. And I thought there'll be a shift change at 6 on the security, surely, as well. And he just sat there, and I says, can you contact someone to say that I'm here? So he tried to go through his, anyway, to cut a long story short, and I'd be here forever. The frustration you get when there's nothing happening. And it was 6:20. Right? I phoned the shipper up. Luckily, the lady was on a night turn on the tube, so she was away. I said, look, I've been here since 10 to 6. 6 o'clock pickup. It's now 6:20. I'm getting nowhere with this guy. The security bloke's just not. He doesn't do. I mean, they says when he got through, the dispatcher said, is he on a bay? And he says, yes, he's on a bay. He stood here next to me. Well, no, I'm not on a bay. I'm actually at your gate. And he just looked, and it was like, oh, for God's sake. Anyway, the shipper said, don't worry, we'll pay you waiting time. I said, yeah, that's not the problem. I says, but it's going to right in the central London. I says, he's got to be in there, I think, and out for a certain time. Anyway, a guy comes into the security box, big security box, huge security box, on one side of a counter, and a bloke comes in at 6:25. And by now, I'm beginning to think, I'll just sit and block the gate up, and if a lorry comes in, they'll have to let me in. And he says, he gave this security guy his list of his lorries that were coming in. He says, we're waiting for a van. He says, to the security guy, he said, we're waiting for a van. He says, it's half hour late. And I went, it wouldn't be one going to London, would it? Great Portland Street. He went, yeah. I said, I'm here. I said, I've been here. I said, it's 10 to 6. I said, he hasn't let me in. And he went to him, what's going on? And they had a bit of a to-do. He weren't having any of the security blokes saying nothing. I said, I've been here. I said, there's me check-in time. He went, let him in. Base, whatever it was. He says, mate, I went, hey, I've been here since 10 to 6. He went, I understand. By the time we got to the bay, he said, I'll meet you at the bay. There was 5 bags. They got new clothes in. They were new design clothes. By the time I got to the bay, he went, it's just so frustrating, he says he hasn't got a clue. So that's my tip. Security, get there early. I phoned the shipper again to say I'm only just leaving. I left about 25 to 7. And then, because they're saying it's urgent, and I said, yeah, it was urgent. If I'd have left at 10 to 6 when I was here, I said I'd be halfway to London by now. But hey, we took it to London. I'd phoned the shipper to tell him the shipper phoned me, what's your ETA? I said, well, we're London. I said, it would have been earlier than what it is now. I said, but I could be looking at 10 o'clock here. I said, because the traffic into London's horrendous. And they went, no problem. He says, just let us, that's fine. I says, but if I get good traffic, it could be 9 o'clock. And I did get good traffic. I know the back streets quite well in London, a few of them. And I went down a few back streets to avoid Regent's Park round there. I'll go round the back of Regent's Park. And there's a couple of back streets you can use in a little van. It's okay. And I got there at 9:10. And luckily, outside there's a it's all red lines, you can't park, but there was a box for unloading, and it was outside their store, believe it or not, and there was just enough room to get in. And I delivered it in 2 minutes flat. It was brilliant. So that was a result, because after the rigmarole picking it up, I thought I was going to be well late. So I'd done that job, and I thought, I'm getting out of London, I'm going north. I don't want to stay in London. So I turned around. I parked in Regent's Park, the top end. You can park on the inner circle of Regent's Park. When I stretched limos, we used to park in there at night, and they used to leave us alone. And it's a good place to park. And in the day, they're a little bit hot on the old traffic, parking. The traffic wardens are a little bit hot. You can't sit, but I could see around. I just pulled over. Well, there's about 45 jobs on there, but you can flick through them because they're London, all to London. I'm not interested in London. I know I was sitting in London. I want to go north. And then there was one job popped up, Potter's Bar to West Drayton, which is around by Heathrow. I thought, well, that if I could get that, and I was by then I'd left Regent's Park, and I was driving. I thought I can watch the feeding traffic, because I was going up the Holloway Road to Finchley and round up to the pick up the motorway. I was going to park at the services, but I was in Finchley Road in traffic, and the job popped up, Potter's Bar to West Drayton. It's South Mims, it said. So I thought I'll quote on that and see if I can get it. I quoted 43. It was only 33 miles, but it's London. And I told them where, and I phoned up and told them where I was. They said, no problem, that's brilliant. And I was only 5 miles away. And it was South Mims. And picked that up straight away. Went over, picked it up, done that, got over to West Drayton, dropped it off. Again, I'm looking to get home. I don't want to be out because obviously my aunt is in hospital. She was Tuesday. And I want to make sure everything's okay. If anything's problems, I don't want to be too far from home, really. And so I thought, I just want a little job home now. I've done 88 quid for them 2 jobs. All in. Less than 15 quid. 173 quid. Less the congestion, obviously. And I thought, I don't really want much now. I just want something going home. I thought I'll pick someone up Heathrow, surely to the Midlands. And I thought I want to be home by 4 because we again got an appointment at 5 o'clock to see my auntie. And there's a job on there. I was parked up right by Heathrow from Dunstable to Dunstable. No mileage. Pays 35 quid. I'm like, right, okay. And I thought, and it's assisting unloading a bath, helping another CX driver unload a bath, and it said on it, not heavy, bulky. And my back's improving. It's improving. In fact, when I pick stuff up, it doesn't hurt no more. It's the same. I'm picking big boxes up, no problem. So I thought, yeah, I'm going home anyway. I thought if I don't get a job soon, I'm just going to drive home anyway. I thought, well, so I phoned them, and they said, yeah, it's just to help I drive it. It's just a big bath. It's for a disabled person. Got to go downstairs we think in the bathroom. So, okay. I said, yeah, that's fine. So they said, yeah. I said, I'll be there. And the driver's getting there at 1 o'clock. I said, yeah, I've got to be there about 12:30. I said, so I got there just after 12:30. And I did a load of paperwork on my own. Got all my paperwork up to date from this week because I've got my laptop with me and everything and sorting it all out. Chased a couple of invoices and, yeah, he turned up at 5 to 1. It was a residential address. There was a fitter there who was fitting it. And I had a quick chat with him, said, oh, just going to give the driver if he needs hand. He says, oh, right, no worries. He said, do you know what time it's due? I said, yeah, 1 o'clock. I said, because I've got it on a thing. He said, great. And he says, right. And there was another bloke there, big bloke, massive bloke. And he didn't say nothing, this other bloke. And he was from the council, I found out afterwards. Because it was the council that are paying for it, because it was council house for 2 old people. It was a bath with a disabled thing to get in and out. So when the van turned up, it was a great lad, Steve. I said, oh, you right, mate? He said, yeah. He says, I said, I sent you a message to say. He said, oh, yeah, no worries. Anyway, the fitter come out. And this bath was 110 kilos. And it was a big lump, big thing, on like a wooden, screwed into a wooden board. So before I could even get close to it, the fitter had grabbed the end of it. It was on a tail lift on a Luton. And he grabbed out the end, and he slid it towards the end, and I thought, well, that's all right, I'll get round the other end. The bloke was going to drop the tail lift, jump on it. Before that, the bloke from the council, who was much bigger than me, and I'm not too short, not too skinny, he just grabbed out the other end with him. So they lifted it and took it off. And I'm like, well, I'm getting paid here for nothing. I thought, well, I best make an effort. I said, is it going inside? I'll guide you in, guys. No, the fitter said, I'm not ready for it. It's going on that trolley. Got like a trolley dolly thing, like you put heavy stuff on, you can move them around. I didn't touch a thing. 35 quid. I even told Steve, the other bloke. The other bloke said, I said, can you sign me POD to say I've been here anyway? He went, that's easy money for you. I went, well, I was here. I said, but the council bloke decided he was having it. He was doing it. And the reason he did it, he was checking for damage. He ripped all the bubble wrap out and he wanted to check for damage. So he didn't want anyone unloading it apart from him. So, hey, easy money. And that was it. That was Tuesday done. I did £212 Tuesday. £223. Let's get this right. I did £223 on Tuesday. Take off the 15 for the congestion, 208. So I'm over me 200. I was just under on Monday, so I'm still up. And I worked for 9 hours all in. And it was easy day. And again, I got to visit my auntie on the Tuesday evening as well. And glad to say on Tuesday she come home. So, and her son and daughter were there, I was there, and we got her home. So we were a lot happier. So, Wednesday. I didn't start that early. I looked for jobs about 8:30 and there was one at 9 o'clock coming from Northampton to Grays. It's from a BP fuel refinery. I think it's taking little samples or something. I've done the job about 4 times for a really nice shipper, and I just phoned up and I forgot what I did input. I said, I don't know what price I did it for last time, and he said, well, it was that price. I said, well, the fuel's gone up a bit since then. He says, would you want to do it for 70 quid? It was going Northampton to Dartford, this side of the bridge, Grays, Purfleet, so you don't have to go over the bridge. I said, yeah, that's fine. It was 98 mile all in, so it was 70p a mile, which is a bit under me 75, but yeah, it's easy, one box, little box. And then I picked a job up from Basildon straight after. I parked at Lakeside at Tesco's. I only just had time to use the loo. By the time I got back, I'd quoted on 2 jobs, and they both phoned through, but the one phoned through first was Basildon to Stansted, which I took that. I said, yeah, that's no problem. I'll do that one, and I quite don't mind this sort of getting home again. And that was easy, and that was a little job. It was a hospital job, picking up from Basildon Hospital, going to a medical place, which I've been to before. Don't know, it's funny. Do you ever been somewhere before and you forgot about it? And then when you're on the way to the delivery point in Stansted, it was a little unit just off the M11, but you have to go sort of around the country lanes. And as soon as I gone past the services and I was on the country, I thought, I've been here before. I'm sure I have. And I had. It was a medical company that take these cases off the hospital. And yeah, absolutely doddle of a drop. And it's really nice little country drive. Bang, in there and out. And I thought, just want a little job now, something to get me over the... I'd done 17, I'd done 36, I'd done 106. I thought, I don't want much money, I just want to get home, bike night. And I want to finish early again, just to popped in my aunt is okay. And there was a job Haverhill to Haverhill. This is a bit like Dunstable to Dunstable. And it just says, can you meet a driver outside of a company, drive his van in, pick a pallet up, bring it back to the driver, 5 minutes, and that's all he want. And I phoned it was an independent driver, and I phoned him up. I said, well, I'm 30 miles away, mate. I says, if I can do it for 30 quid, why won't they let you in? I thought he'd been banned from site or something and it could be a bit dodgy. No, unfortunately, he got his little girl with him. Got a 4-year-old girl because the childminder had let him down and he needed this job and they wouldn't let him in with a kid, which is fair enough, that's company's rules. But he was all legit. And I says, I can do it for 30 quid, mate. I said, it's on the way home. I said, it's up to you. I said, I'm looking for a quick day. And he went, mate, that'd be brilliant. He says, they won't let me in. He said, I'm parked just round the corner. He said, got the little one with me. He says, if you could just, drive my van in, it's one pallet. He says, I've got a reference number, pick it up, bring it back out to me. He says, and 30 quid. And I went, okay. So I drove the 30 miles up to him, got there. He got a long wheelbase, MAN, but brand new one. Beautiful bit of kit, by the way. Absolutely gorgeous inside. It was mint. It was his own motor. He got it on a lease. And I says, yep, no problem. And he said, well, I'm just going to take my little in this little park here. He says, so I locked my van up, and I was literally 100 yards around this corner. So I goes in, and it was a big company, deals with spices and fragrances and stuff. Huge company. And security, he said, just show him that invoice. He said, they'll know it's, because obviously they won't let me in. He said, I'll have to get someone to come and fetch it. So I went on the weighbridge, they weighbridged me, and then I had to fill a form in, lanyards, which is all fine, had my temperature checked, told me where to go, and booked me in. He says, you book in at the booking in office. What I hadn't seen on this sheet of paper is they don't start picking one pallet load, well, it's just one pallet, until you've booked in. But he didn't see that, and I didn't see that. So I booked in. I says, where do I go now? There was 2 or 3 Arctics waiting on bays, or one was being side tipped with a forklift. I says, where do I go? He says, you can park over there. He says, and a bloke will come out to you when it's picked. And I went, when it's picked? I said, surely it's ready if it's ready, it's a load. He said, no. He says, if you see on the sheet at the bottom, and it was in small writing, he said, they'll pick it now. He said, they'll pick it. He said, I've sent it through. There's these big forklifts that go right up to the top racks and right down, and they put them on a pallet here and there and everywhere, and they wrap it. He said it could be 5 minutes, it could be half an hour, could be an hour. I went, what? Okay. So I went and parked where he told me to park, and I got the phone number of the guy who's with a little girl, phoned him up, told him, I says, look, this has got to be, I said, they're picking it. I says, it says on the form when you get here to phone this number, quoting this reference when you come towards the gate, and they'll start picking it. And he went, oh, I'm really sorry, mate. I says, no, don't worry. I says, as long as you're all right with your little girl, I says, it could be a while. He said, no, that's fine. I appreciate that. Anyway, it was about 25 minutes had gone by, and he just tipped a foreign bloke in his truck, the Forky. He was a nice bloke, and I said to him, I says, I don't know whether... He says, go and see about that slope. He says, see how they're getting on. I says, I don't want to rush him. I said, it's, so I can see you're busy. He said, no, go and see him, he said. And the bloke was really nice as well, which is strange for a warehouse bloke. And he says, they're just finishing picking it. He said, he's on the last aisle. He said, then we have to wrap it, put the documents on. It was going abroad, it was going to Egypt. This bloke was taking it to Colnbrook, and then it was going to go to Heathrow on a plane. And, it was about 45 minutes all in. Then you have to get weighed out to make sure you got exactly the weight that you've got on your ticket, and it's the difference, so you haven't nicked anything. And it took me best part of 55 minutes all in. And I felt more sorry for the lad's little girl. She was only about 4, because it was quite cold and she hadn't got a coat and anything, but he lent her hers. And he was so apologetic. He went, I'm really sorry, mate. He said I was told 5 minutes. I said, and I got the form. I said, well, it's on that form. I said, but it's not a problem. The job's, it happens, don't it? And with that, he bunged me another tenner. He gave me cash. He says, I'll tell you what I'll do. Shall I cancel it on the CX? He says, and I'll pay you. And he gave me 40 quid. So fair play to the bloke. I said, no, mate, you've had so much inconvenience. He said, this was put down as a 5-minute job. It's took 55 minutes. It's 40 quid, all right. I said, it's fine, mate. I said, the pallet's on the back. I haven't strapped it, but it was pretty solid. He said, no, brilliant. So that was that. So I got a cash job. It was cancelled on the CX, and he did it through cash, which is fine. It was all legit. So that was Wednesday. So I only did 262 miles, all in. And that was from Haverhill. I went home then, because it was bike night. Auntie's all right. She's fine. She's home. And people have been in to see her. So went to bike night. I was at bike night at 4:30. So I only did 8 hours that day. Yeah, I got 150 quid for 8 hours. It wasn't brilliant, but I did 262 miles, so it was my worst day. But hey, my back's improving a lot, so it's not 100%. It's Saturday morning. I'm just about to go out and clean the van. Actually, give it a clean and see if it's all right standing up that long. So I've come to Thursday. Thursday was my best day, and I hadn't got nothing booked in. And I went from. I quoted on a job early. I was awake at 7. I was awake and ready. I could have been working by 7:30. And there was a job on there from Lutterworth, Magna Park, which is 35 miles from me. About 35, maximum 35. So it takes me 35 to 40 minutes to get there. So it's about 35 because it's all motorway. And there was a job on there, Lutterworth to Barry, which is south of Cardiff, just 10 miles past Cardiff. And it was a pick-up from a distribution centre. And I thought, And I worked it out with my mileage, dead mileage getting there, mileage to Barry. I thought, quote it a little bit cheaper, quote it. And I thought, well, quote it. But I looked at many drivers, and Lutterworth's a funny area. Leicester's a little bit away, and everyone's. And Friday, does anyone want to go to Barry? So I thought, this is a risk, because I want to get home. I'm Thursday, not Friday, Thursday. This is a risk on Thursday, because I've got a dentist Friday. I want to be home Thursday night. I don't want to be stuck in Wales. So I quoted 137, which it was with my mileage getting there, it was about 178, 180, something like that. It's about 180 with my mileage getting there. My dead miles are 30 odd miles, so I quoted nearly £1 a mile. And I got a phone call, which I was very surprised, but I got a phone call. Are you okay to do that job? We need someone, it's important, it's going to an airport, it's going to Cardiff Airport. I need someone and you've got really good feedback. Again, the feedback helps. He says, you got brilliant feedback. He says, you doing airports? I said, yeah, I do them a bit. I've got all my ID. He said, yeah, definitely, I'd rather give it to you. So I went, and it was a package the size of a shoebox for British Airways maintenance in Cardiff Airport, which is near Barry, just past Barry. So I went, I picked it up, and I got it, and it was a pickup 9 o'clock, and I got there it was a pickup at 9:30, and I got there at 10 to 9, and I thought, well, distribution centre, I'm going to go to the gate, because there's going to be forms, there's going to be lanyards, there's going to be everything. It wasn't too bad. He just signed me in to ask me what company I was working for, what I was picking up, reference number, and he says, go to the canopy, he says, and ask the guys there. I went to the canopy, and the worst bit of news you can get is, I don't think that's in yet, I don't think the lorry's back with it yet, and I'm half an hour early. I thought, I went, okay. And I said to him, I'll come to pick up for this address. And there was a young lad there on a forklift. I said, it's only a box and all like that. And he went, it's not for Cardiff Airport, is it? I went, yeah. And he went, a little box? I said, yeah, I've got the dimensions. He went, there's one on top of that pallet there. He said, this is what on this pallet I unloaded about 2 hours ago. Well, the pallet was stacked up high. I said, well, I can't get up there. And the bloke who said, I don't think it's in yet, he says, oh, that's right, there was one odd box come in. So this lad on this forklift jumped up and got it, and sure enough, it's my box. Thank God the young lad was there, because we'd have sat there and it was already in, and he didn't think it would come in, the bloke who run it. So, whipped that. I was on the road, 9:10. 20 minutes ahead of myself. I'm going down to Cardiff, 137 in. I thought, if I get to Cardiff by about 1 o'clock-ish, 12 to 1, then I know there's normally there used to be a Cardiff, what am I trying to think of? COVID to pick up at Slough, going to Norwich, which was huge distance, but weren't picking up till 10 to 4, but the money would have been in it for me then drive home from Norwich. I wouldn't have been home till midnight, but it was a thought. But Norwich is finished at the moment. I don't know whether CX drivers will know, there's nothing going to Norwich, it's all going to Slough, or SE10. So as I was getting 10 miles from Cardiff, I'd stopped on the way down, had a quick coffee, toilet in the services, And I stopped for fuel. I got fuel. Where did I get fuel? Michael Wood Services, and I got my BP card, so it's cheaper. And I was 10 miles from it, and I got my feed on the phone, anywhere within 20 miles, 30 miles. Bing, job pops up, Bridgend to Peterborough. Peterborough is 30 miles from my house. Bridgend to Peterborough is my backload. I was on my way, I just phoned straight away. I hadn't even got a figure in mind. I phoned up, and it was a company in Scotland, believe it or not. And I put a quote in and sent it, but I phoned as well. And the quote I put in was 145, and it's for 210 miles. So I was thinking 70p, 140, add a little bit on 145. I've got 20 miles to go to get to it, something like that. And I phoned him up, and he says it's an urgent one. It's going to an engineer in Peterborough to his house. I says okay. I says, well, I'm dropping in Cardiff Airport in 10 minutes. I was still driving by that way. I says I can be on it after that. He said, can you give me the postcode of your airport? He said, then I'll put the postcode of mine and see how far away it is. I said okay. I said, well, give me a ring back and let me know. I says, but that's my postcode I'm going to. And he said okay. And I just get into the airport, and he phoned back. He said, I think that's going to be fine as long as you're not held up at the airport. I said, no, that'll be fine. Should be great. And luckily I wasn't. I did have to have a lanyard, did have to have a thing for the van, I had to have a search. But once I got in there, one packet, bang, in, out, and I was on my way to Bridgend. I quoted 145, he gave me 145. So that day was, by the time I got to Bridgend, it was a pickup at 1:05, and I put my ETA to get there at 1:10. And I sent it to the shipper. He messaged me, and I meant to say, you okay for that job, aren't you? And I said, I'm going to be there 5 minutes late. I hope that's okay? And he just put perfect with a thumb up. So, and I got there at 1:10. And it was a little unit. It was they're a nationwide company, and they got little units, like with stores. And he got the bit, it was for a wind farm, that the bloke in Peterborough, the engineer in Peterborough, needed, and his was the only stores that had got it, on the nearest stores. So it was just a coil thing with a motor on the end. It weighed 2 kilos. It was nothing, but it's my low back. Yes. Some days it just, and that was the day, because I got 145, I got 137 down, 145 back, 282 quid. Mega day. That's puts your week at happy days. And I drove, I literally jumped in, I grabbed a bacon roll at a at a snack wagon just after I picked up the load, literally on the same industrial estate, and a coffee, made my way, and I thought I'll stop once for fuel and have a little break, and then we'll just nail it and kill it and get it in there. And he said to me, can you phone this engineer to let him know what time you're going to be there? So I put an ETA at 6 o'clock. I phoned the engineer. I said, I think it's going to be 6 o'clock, mate. I said, it's 200. And he went, that's fine, mate. He said, I'm doing it tonight. He says, during the night. He said, I'm doing it's a little job. He said, it's going to be done at night. He said, I'll probably be about 8 o'clock when I do it. I'm like, okay. So we start driving, and yep, good traffic. Set there, and I've been setting my cruise control a little bit less, trying to get more miles per gallon. I'm getting 57 now out the sill of the Citroen, but by doing 65 mile an hour instead of 70 mile an hour. But I'm losing time, and I was in a hurry to get home, and I'd done that all the way down from Lutterworth to Barry, and it was up to 57.7, and it went to 58, but it was fluctuating. And then on the way back, I went at 70 mile an hour. Set it at 72 on my thing, because my GPS sat nav's come up at 70, so it ain't quite calibrated right. It's a bit over. And yeah, we went back, and it still didn't drop much. I still got 54.5 to the gallon. And I had to stop for fuel, which I'm getting no problem. I went across the A46, and I got fuel at a BP, unlimited, filled up, and off to Peterborough. And I got to Peterborough at 5:15, that ring a bell, 5:20, because I just had one stop and a long stop, but it was a long day. Yeah, probably should have stopped more than that, but I wanted to get done. He was happy. He said, brilliant, I'm doing this at 8 o'clock. He said, I'm going to this place. He says, I'm doing it at 8 o'clock. He says, it's only half an hour just to swap it over. So he was happy. I contacted the shipper through text, said job's completed. He was over the moon. He said brilliant, appreciate that. So that day was done. I drove from Peterborough back to Northampton, stopped for fuel in Northampton. This is on a Thursday, and I topped up with fuel at my garage at the end. They're limited to 30 quid, and I got 20 something in. Not even, I think 21 quid. But that's it, done. So that's my week, Monday to Thursday. 35 minutes already, wow. My miles was 1,239 for the week. My money was £837, and that come out at 68 pence a mile, 68p per mile overall, from my house to my house, everything, which is not bad. 68p. I had a mega day, pence per mile, and it was on the Tuesday. It's when I did this job to central London from Wellingborough. They paid me well over the odds, nearly 182 quid, or it was 180 or something like that a mile, pence per mile. I did a job then to Potters Bar to West Drayton, more than £1 a mile. I did dead mileage from West Drayton to Dunstable, but then I did 35 quid Dunstable for no mileage, and my mileage home, and I ended up getting 98 pence average from door to door for 212 miles. I got 208 quid. So that's what got me mileage up. So all in all, a good week. It works out at £209 a day, and my target's 200. So all good. So we had Friday off, like I said. Had a bit of a physio done on my back. They're happy. It's progressing. It is getting better. I'm still in pain. I walked the dog this morning, Saturday morning, early, and yeah, it's still a bit painful. I can walk up to where I normally walk her, and I know it when I've got back. The back's aching. It's got a bit more. Going to do a bit more exercise in a bit, and Friday, although I didn't work, I say I've got a bit of physio Friday done, and I had the dentist at 3:30, 23 quid, £23.50. I was in the chair for 5 minutes. Jesus Christ, it's good money, isn't it? But hey, all good. And then I went pictures. My wife had booked the pictures to see James Bond, which we did. Gosh, long film, nearly 3 hours. In fact, with the 25-minute trailers, it was over 3 hours 10 minutes. But it's all right. Yeah, it's good. It wasn't best James Bond. I'm a James Bond fan, but didn't think it was the best. But it was certainly not the worst. It's all technical now, all technical stuff. So I'm old. But I got just for one of the pictures, I got a message from a shipper. This is Friday, saying I got a load Monday, Dave. If you interested, he says, and it's going to Norwich, one drop. Norwich. He says if you can pick it up tonight. And I was just going to the pictures. I went, I can, but it's going to be about 8:15, I think, because this doesn't finish till 7:45. Anyway, that's fine. I can wait for you. So he did. So I took my wife to the pictures. I had to take her in the van, work van. Which I know I'd got anyway, because her van's not as good as mine, and the big van was at home, so we just took my work van. So I said I don't use it for personal, but we did. We used it. Well, it weren't, because I used it for pictures, which is only 3 mile away. And then we come out the pictures, weren't going to have a drink or anything, because I've got to go. So I went to Industrial Estate, and he was waiting for us, bless him. He's waiting for another driver as well. So I've got 9 boxes already on the van, and I'm delivering Norwich. Oh, I've got a flexi time on that. Before 12, they'll take it at 8 o'clock. So I'm on the road Monday, 6 o'clock. So, great start for the week. So all in all, fuel has gone rocketing. My fuel card, UK fuel cards, has just gone through the roof. I ain't touched that. And it'll never come down at the rate it went up either. When it just gets back to normal, that is never going to go back down as quick as it's gone up. You know that and I know that. My BP card is pretty consistent. It's going up a penny at a time, which I can cope with. It's still 5p a litre cheaper now than UK fuel. In fact, 6p a litre cheaper than UK fuels. So it's BP I'm using. But all in all, next week, I've got the job booked in Monday. I've got to have Wednesday off because my van, Silla the Citroen's in for a service. It's overdue by 2,000 miles, but that's because my mechanic's so busy. He's a great mechanic, and that's the earliest you can get it booked in. And I've got a massage, a hot stone massage on my back, which apparently is going to help me a lot as well. So we are trying to get the back up to 100%, but I say it's a lot better than it was. So I hope you're all making money. I'm over 70 subscribers now. I don't even know, 70 something. Obviously it's all unedited, as you can tell by the rambling and the crap I've just probably spoke. But if you do like it, you want to like, subscribe. Any comments, more than helpful. Appreciate your concerns about the back. It's getting better. Hope you're all making money. Speak soon.